One of the oldest true stories of America takes us back to the harsh winter of 1620, when a small group of people crossed the vast Atlantic Ocean in search of freedom, hope, and a new life. This story is not a legend or a myth. It is a real chapter of history that helped shape what would later become the United States of America. In early 17th century England, many people were unhappy with religious control and persecution. A group of English Protestants believed they could not freely practice their faith. Because of this, they first fled to the Netherlands. Although they were safer there, life was difficult, and they feared losing their culture and identity. Eventually, they made a bold decision. They would travel across the ocean to the New World and build a society of their own. In September 1620, 102 passengers, men, women, and children, set sail on a small wooden ship called the Mayflower. They left England without knowing if they would ever return. The journey across the Atlantic Ocean took more than 2 months. The ship was overcrowded, dark, and damp. Storms rocked the vessel violently, food supplies were limited, and many passengers became sick. Despite hunger, fear, and freezing winds, they held on to hope. They believed that God was guiding them toward a new beginning. In November 1620, land finally appeared. Instead of reaching their planned destination in Virginia, storms forced them north. They landed in what is now Massachusetts, near a place later called Plymouth. Before leaving the ship, the settlers realized something important. They were outside the area governed by English law. Without rules, the colony could fall into chaos. So, still aboard the ship, they created a written agreement known as the Mayflower Compact. In it, they promised to govern themselves, make fair laws, and work together for the good of the community. This simple agreement became one of the earliest foundations of democracy in America. The settlers came ashore in December, far too late to plant crops. They had no proper houses, little food, and no experience with the harsh New England winter. Cold, hunger, and disease spread quickly. By the time spring arrived, nearly half of the settlers had died. Families were destroyed, and hope was tested to its limits. Yet the survivors refused to give up. In the spring of 1621, something extraordinary happened. A Native American man walked into the settlement and greeted the settlers in English. His name was Samoset. Through him, the settlers met another man whose role would prove crucial, Squanto. Squanto had once been captured by English sailors and taken to Europe, where he learned English. When he finally returned home, he discovered his entire village had been wiped out by disease. Despite his tragic past, Squanto chose to help the settlers. He taught them how to grow corn, use fish as fertilizer, hunt local animals, and survive in an unfamiliar land. Without his knowledge, the colony likely would not have survived. With Squanto's help, the settlers formed a peaceful alliance with the local tribe led by Massasoit. This agreement brought stability and protection to both sides. For the first time, cooperation replaced fear. In the autumn of 1621, the settlers harvested a successful crop. To celebrate their survival and give thanks, they held a 3-day feast. Native people joined them, sharing food, stories, and friendship. This event is widely remembered as the first Thanksgiving, though it was very different from the modern holiday. At the time, no one could imagine that this small gathering would become a national tradition centuries later. The Plymouth settlement remained small, but its influence was enormous. It introduced ideas of self-government, community responsibility, and cooperation that would later shape American identity. However, history also carries a darker truth. As European settlements expanded, Native American communities suffered devastating losses of land, culture, and life. The early harmony did not last forever. Still, the story of 1620 to 1621 remains one of courage, survival, and human connection in the face of overwhelming hardship. This true story reminds us that freedom often requires great sacrifice. Cooperation can save lives. Small beginnings can change the course of history. What began as a dangerous journey on a small ship became the foundation of a nation.